Ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went in there? Have you ever been in the middle of a sentence, talking to a friend or a colleague, and a basic, everyday word just vanishes from your mind? Welcome to Dr. Levitas. You stand there, snapping your fingers, feeling a sudden, terrifying wave of panic. You joke about having a senior moment, but deep down, you are quietly terrified. You wonder if this is the beginning of an inevitable cognitive decline. You have likely been told that brain fog and memory lapses are just normal parts of aging, or the result of a busy, stressful life. But the problem is not your age. What if the problem is your plate? What if, in your noble effort to eat a heart-healthy, low-fat diet, you have accidentally starved your brain of the exact structural materials it needs to function? Today, we are dismantling the fear surrounding cognitive decline. We are exploring the biological architecture of your brain and explain why the low-fat diet craze of the last decades has been a neurological disaster. We are talking about the stripped wire brain, and why your memory depends on the very fats you have been told to avoid. To understand why your brain is misfiring, we have to look at what your brain is actually made of. If you were to dehydrate the human brain and remove all the water, you would be left with a mass of tissue that is approximately 60% fat. Let that sink in. The most complex, brilliant supercomputer in the known universe is primarily composed of lipids. But this fat isn't just sitting there for storage. It forms a highly specialized, absolutely critical structure called the myelin sheath. I want you to picture the cord that charges your smartphone. Inside that cord are tiny copper wires that carry the electricity. But those wires are wrapped in a thick, protective rubber coating. If you strip that rubber coating away, the wires touch each other, the electricity shorts out, and the phone stops charging. Your brain works on the exact same principle. Your brain cells, or neurons, communicate by sending rapid-fire electrical signals down long, cable-like structures called axons. To ensure these electrical signals travel at lightning speed without short-circuiting, your body wraps these axons in a dense, protective, fatty insulation. That insulation is the myelin sheath. And what is the absolute most important building block of the myelin sheath? Cholesterol. Roughly 25% of all the cholesterol in your entire body is located strictly inside your brain. Your brain is a cholesterol hog. It demands massive, uninterrupted amounts of dietary fat and cholesterol to constantly repair, thicken, and maintain this vital neurological insulation. So, what happens when you spend decades eating plain oatmeal, dried chicken breasts, and fat-free yogurt? You actively starve your brain of its primary structural raw material. When your brain does not have enough cholesterol and healthy fats to maintain the myelin sheath, the insulation begins to thin out. It becomes frayed, just like an old charging cable. When the myelin thins, the electrical signals traveling between your neurons literally begin to leak out into the surrounding tissue. The signals slow down. They degrade. They fail to reach their destination. This mechanical electrical failure is the biological definition of brain fog. When you cannot remember that word, it is not because the memory is gone. It is because the electrical signal trying to retrieve that memory leaked out of a frayed, poorly insulated neural pathway. Your brain is trying to send a high-speed broadband message over a dial-up connection. You aren't losing your mind, you are simply losing your myelin. This absolute biological requirement for cholesterol brings us to one of the most highly contested and heavily debated topics in modern neurology and cardiology: the use of statin drugs. Statins are the most widely prescribed class of drugs on the planet, designed to aggressively lower cholesterol production in the liver to protect the heart. But the brain, as we just established, desperately needs cholesterol to survive. For a long time, doctors believed the brain was completely isolated from these drugs by a protective filter called the blood-brain barrier. However, modern pharmacology has revealed that certain types of statins, specifically lipophilic or fat-soluble statins, can and do cross the blood-brain barrier. Once inside the brain, they do exactly what they were designed to do. They block the synthesis of cholesterol. This has sparked a fierce medical debate. Over the last decade, the FDA even mandated warning labels on statins regarding the potential for transient global amnesia, memory loss, and confusion. While some cardiologists argue the cardiovascular benefits outweigh the risks, a growing body of neuroscientists are raising massive red flags. If you pharmacologically force the brain to stop producing the exact cholesterol it needs to repair its myelin insulation, cognitive decline is not just a risk, it is a mechanical inevitability. If you are experiencing sudden, severe memory loss after starting a cholesterol-lowering protocol, you must have a deeply honest, critical conversation with your physician about the neurological side effects of a stripped wire brain. But cholesterol is just the raw material. You also need the biological mechanic to actually apply the insulation. And the master mechanic of your central nervous system is vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 is profoundly unique because it is exclusively found in bioavailable amounts in animal products, meat, fish, eggs, and dairy. You cannot get optimal, highly absorbable B12 from a strict, unsupplemented plant-based diet. Inside the brain, vitamin B12 is the crucial cofactor for a biochemical process called the methylation cycle. This cycle is what actively produces and lays down the myelin sheath around your nerves. If you become deficient in B12, the mechanic walks off the job. The myelin repair completely halts, and the existing insulation begins to rapidly decay. The clinical manifestation of this is terrifying. A severe vitamin B12 deficiency presents with symptoms that are biologically and behaviorally indistinguishable from advanced Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Patients experience severe paranoia, profound memory loss, and a complete loss of spatial awareness. Tragically, many elderly patients are placed into memory care facilities with a diagnosis of irreversible dementia, when in reality, they are simply suffering from a profound, easily treatable B12 deficiency, caused by years of poor nutrient absorption and low animal protein intake. Restoring B12 levels doesn't just treat the symptom, it puts the mechanic back to work repairing the stripped wires. Now, we must address the type of fat your brain needs, because not all fats are created equal. We need to talk about why your brain heavily relies on saturated fat to shield itself from oxidative stress. Your brain uses an astonishing amount of oxygen, about 20% of your body's entire supply, despite only making up 2% of your body weight. Where there is massive oxygen use, there is massive oxidative stress, or free radicals. Free radicals are unstable molecules that act like biological rust, aggressively attacking and degrading cellular tissue. To protect itself from this rust, the brain incorporates saturated fats into its cellular architecture. If you look at the chemical structure of a saturated fat, like the fat found in grass-fed butter, tallow, or coconut oil, it has no double bonds. All of its carbon atoms are fully saturated with hydrogen. This makes the molecule incredibly stable and highly resistant to oxidation. When you replace the saturated fats in your diet with highly unstable, heavily processed industrial seed oils, like soybean, corn, or canola oil, you are building your brain's architecture out of cheap, easily oxidized materials. The seed oils react violently with the oxygen in your brain, causing rampant neuroinflammation. Saturated fat is not the enemy. It is the dense, stable armor your neurons require to survive in a highly oxygenated environment. So, what is the single most powerful, accessible food you can eat to reverse the stripped wire syndrome and build this neurological armor? It is the pasture-raised, whole egg. For years, we were told to throw away the egg yolk because it contained cholesterol. We now know that advice was a neurological catastrophe. The bright orange yolk of a pasture-raised egg is arguably nature's most perfect brain supplement. First, it delivers a highly bioavailable dose of the exact dietary cholesterol your brain is begging for to rebuild its myelin. Second, it is packed with a crucial nutrient called choline. Choline is the direct precursor to acetylcholine, the primary neurotransmitter responsible for learning, memory, and sharp cognitive focus. And finally, if the chickens are raised on pasture, eating their natural diet of bugs and grasses, the yolks are rich in DHA, a specific omega-3 fatty acid that makes up a massive structural percentage of your cerebral cortex. Eating 3 to 4 whole, pasture-raised eggs a day is not going to cause a heart attack. It is going to provide the exact, premium raw materials your brain needs to re-insulate its wiring and clear the fog. Finally, we have to look beyond nutrition and look at the physical mechanics of neuroplasticity. How do we physically force the brain to lay down more myelin and thicken these pathways? The answer is not just doing crossword puzzles. The answer is heavy resistance training. When you lift a heavy weight, your muscles are only doing half the work. The actual command to lift that weight originates deep in your motor cortex. To move a heavy barbell, your brain has to fire a massive, high-voltage electrical signal down your spinal cord and into your muscle tissue. When you repeatedly subject your central nervous system to this extreme, high-threshold physical demand, your brain physically adapts. It realizes that the current wires are too thin to handle this massive electrical output. So, it actively upregulates the production of myelin. It wraps thicker, denser layers of insulation around the motor neurons to ensure the signal travels faster and more efficiently. By lifting heavy weights safely, you are literally forcing your central nervous system to upgrade its hardware. You are thickening the neural pathways. This neurological thickening carries over into every aspect of your cognitive life, improving your reaction time, sharpening your focus, and building a deeply resilient, heavily armored brain that refuses to age. The doctor's verdict: feed your brain. You do not have to accept cognitive decline as a normal part of getting older. Brain fog, memory lapses, and mental fatigue are the desperate cries of a brain that has been starved of its most vital building blocks. By understanding the profound importance of the myelin sheath, you can take immediate action. By embracing high-quality, stable saturated fats, eating pasture-raised eggs, optimizing your B12 levels, and challenging your central nervous system with heavy resistance training, you can re-insulate your stripped wiring. You can rebuild your neurological armor and reclaim the sharp, vibrant, focused mind you deserve. Stay sharp, feed your brain the fat it demands, and I will see you in the next video. Watch this video suggestion, it was especially picked for you. Also share, comment, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. It helps a ton with the algorithm. Remain tuned for future videos to empower your health and fitness journey. So, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep going.